Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be comparing the Nutrimill Classic grain mill to the brand new Nutrimill Impact. Alright, so to start things off, I'm going to do a brief overview of each one of these grain mills. They're very similar in some ways and they're very different in others, but we're going to get to just kind of their specifications first. This is the Nutrimill Classic grain mill. I've had this. This is like their original grain mill, and I've had it for years, and I use it all the time. Now, this one has a hopper that can hold, I have some notes, that can hold 12 cups of grain, and this bowl can hold 20 cups of flour. This lid comes off, and you put your grains down in here. The bowl snaps in place. This is the bowl. Now, this little foam disc sits on top of a cup, as you can see there. That is an aerator cup, which keeps the motor from overheating while it's working. And this hole here in the lid is where the flour goes in. So as you can see, the lid, you just twist. There's two little tabs on the side, and then you lift and it comes up. Push it down, twist it back into the tabs. It's ready to go. When you push it in here, there's a no and a yes on the front of this bottom part. So when you push it in, you want to make sure that you push it till it kind of snaps and you can see the word yes, and that means it's in place. If you don't get this in place, flour will go everywhere. And so it's really important that you can see the word yes before you turn it on. So the Classic has two knobs. The first knob is the motor speed. All the way to the left is high speed. That's the high speed. And then as you turn it, it lowers the speed of the motor. So when you're doing really wanting to do coarse like cornmeal, you want to turn it all the way to the right. But for everything else, I keep it all the way to the left. Now this bottom one is the feed rate. So if you can imagine, both of these grain mills have steel milling heads. They're two stainless steel heads that go together like this, and when the wheat berries go in between them, they burst. They do a microburst, and that's how you get the flour. The feed rate is how far apart these discs, these milling heads are from each other. And so for bread, for pretty much everything that I make except for cornmeal, it's at 11 o'clock. I get that question a lot. So the top one's all the way to the left. The bottom one is at 11 o'clock, and that makes perfect bread flour for me. So it has a limited lifetime warranty on the motor and the milling heads, and then a 5-year warranty on like the bowl and, you know, replaceable things. All right, so let's move on to the Impact. The Impact is brand new from Nutrimill, and it's really geared towards beginners because it is a lot less expensive than the other grain mills, and it also has the 1200 watt motor, the lifetime warranty on the motor and the milling heads, the 5-year warranty on the other parts, so it has the same warranty. Now the hopper, so I'm going to show you in just a minute, on this one holds 8 cups of wheat berries or grain, and the bowl here will hold 12 cups. So there is a little difference in the amount that these two can mill at one time, and so just kind of keep that in mind. It also has, I'm going to move this out of the way and pull this out. It also has the foam disc here, but it's a little bit different, so I'm going to show you that. It has a better aerating system, so it actually keeps the motor even cooler. So here's the cup. As you can see, I want to get it up a little closer. It is a little bit, it's made a little bit different. And this part actually snaps in place instead of just sitting down in here. And I've noticed using it, I've been using it for a few days now, there's no dust at all. I love that because you do get a little dust when you're milling flour. So in the bowl, you can nestle your hopper. Now your hopper just slides into place and you twist it and got flour all over me now. And it's in place now and it's ready to go. The bowl, I did this on the other video, but I'll do it again. It has a little tab, the lid does here, that fits into the back of the bowl. Push it down. Kind of hard to do when you're standing up, but you push it down and you push this right here in, and it's ready to go. Now to do flour, you want to just push this and you're gonna hear it click, and that's it. A lot easier really, because sometimes you question if you got this bowl in right, because there's not like that audible click that you hear with this one, and so there's no question. This is in place. This is ready to go. All right, so now we're going to move on to doing like a sound test. So I'm going to mill 1 cup of hard white wheat berries in each one. I will lower the decibels so that it doesn't burst your eardrums, but I'm going to keep them exactly the same decibels so that you can hear any difference. And then what I'm going to do is feel the flour as soon as it's milled and tell you if there's an actual difference in the heat of the flour that I can discern. And then I'm going to talk about the fineness of the flour and if I can tell a big difference. And then we're going to talk about my thoughts using both of them and which one that I think is best for who. So let's move on to the sound test. Okay, so before we get started, we'll tell you my setup. I'm keeping the camera at the same distance. I have a mic that's on a boom, and so that's what's getting all the sound. I'm not going to move it. I'm going to leave it in the exact same place. It's about here where my hand is. So that tells you. And what I'm going to do is mill in this one, and then I'm going to move this one and move the Classic in the exact same place so that the sound is as close to exactly the same as possible. Now, I did fail to mention that the knob for this mill is on this side. When you click it the first time, it just turns it on. It doesn't start feeding it. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For milling hard white wheat, you want to be on either 2 or 3. I'm going to go with 2 and 11 o'clock on this one. So I'm going to put my handy dandy earmuffs on because I'm kind of sensitive to the loud sounds. And we're going to do 1 cup of hard white wheat. One more thing, because this one is linked together outside, it's not inside like this one. When you turn it on, it'll jerk a little. And so I like to just bring my hand over to this bowl when I turn it on just to kind of keep it from jerking too much. It's kind of like the Nutrimill. If you remember me doing the Nutrimill, how it'll jerk. Just kind of keep that in mind. It doesn't jerk like the Nutrimill. I mean, that thing almost goes off the table, but it does jerk a little, and it maybe startle you a little when you first turn it on. So just so you know. All right, so there's how loud the Nutrimill Impact is. We're going to look at the flour real quick. You just lift up a little bit on this and pull it out. You lift up on the tab on the bowl and lift. I like to tap it. Take this little cup, twist it, and just kind of get the flour out. It'll twist back on. Go. Okay, I said this in my earlier video, but this is like the coolest of flours that I've used in a grain mill. And it's barely warm, okay? Barely. Now keep in mind, if you do 8 cups, it will be warmer, but I can tell you that this is quite a bit cooler. The fineness is perfect for making bread. I'm actually going to make some bread after I finish filming this. Perfect. It feels smooth. It doesn't feel gritty, or it's very nice flour. And I always say, if you can see it on your hand, it's nice and fine. So very, very nice, cool flour. So let me move everything around and we'll do the Nutrimill Classic. Okay, so here's the Classic. We're going to do the exact same thing. 1 cup of white wheat berries, hard white wheat. And this knob's all the way to the left. I'm going to put this one up to about 11 o'clock. So I'm going to put my earmuffs on and we're going to check this one out. I almost put the lid on because I do that normally. I'm not going to because this one doesn't have a lid, the Impact. So I want to make sure the sound is accurate. So I caught myself, but we're going to leave it open just so we get the full sound. So you saw me put my hands up here. I'm not sure what the difference is, but this one without the lid on, maybe 2 or 3 wheat berries will come flying out right at the end. And so I had to put my hand there. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna tap the top. It's feel of it. Honestly, I can't tell a big difference. They're both slightly, just slightly, barely, like even some of it in the bottom's cool. So it's negligible. I couldn't. And the texture, I'm gonna put them beside each other and see. It's so close. I can't pick one. They both feel very fine. So I would say on the flowers, the heat and the texture, I would say they're almost exactly the same. So in conclusion, both of these meals do about exactly the same thing. They have the same motor, or wattage motor. They work the same with the stainless steel milling heads. The big difference is, as you could see when I first started the video, side by side, the Impact is much smaller and it is much less expensive. So the biggest difference that I would say is that the Classic can hold a lot more wheat berries and make a lot more flour at one time. So the Impact, as I said before, will hold 8 cups level of wheat berries and make 12 cups of flour in the bowl. And the Nutrimill Classic holds 12 cups of wheat berries for up to 20 cups of flour in the bowl. So as you can see the difference in the bowl sizes. But I am really impressed with the Impact, and I want to tell you why. When I was first looking for a grain mill, the Classic was the cheapest one, and that's why I bought the Classic. But price really is the driving factor. Let's just be honest. I mean, for most people, it's going to be the price. And when I found out that they were making an even more affordable grain mill, I was really kind of skeptical. Is it going to work as good? Is it going to be just as, the flour going to be just as cool and fine and, all of those things that you really need to be successful when you're baking with freshly milled flour. And I'm happy to say that 100% this new Impact grain mill does what the Classic does. No problem. And I'm so excited about that because that makes it so much more in reach for a lot of people. So, all right, today I'm getting this up a little bit later in the day because I had to wait till I had the house to myself to record this. But today is November the 12th. Yesterday, on November 11th, Nutrimill launched their early Black Friday sale. And so now the Impact is not a part of that because it literally just came out, but it is so affordable already at $1.99. I have a coupon code, ROSE20. If you use it at checkout, you get an extra $20 off. So that means you can get a really nice lifetime warranty on the motor and the milling heads, and works flawlessly grain mill for $179, which is, I wish I could have had that deal when I first started. So the Classic also is on a Black Friday sale, I think for $249. And all of these deals for Black Friday, you can use my $20 coupon code. So you just have to go through my link in the description box below and type in the coupon code at checkout. I hope that this was helpful for you if you're on the fence. Both of these are amazing, obviously, and I really love both of them. At this particular time, I'm using only the Impact because I want to give a longer term review on it. I'm going to use it exclusively for a while before I give you my final thoughts, because you have to use something for a while. But so far I've used it several times and I'm really impressed with the flour. I'm making my whole grain sourdough bread. It's all freshly milled flour and it's turning out amazing. I'll insert a picture of one of my latest loaves that I made with 100% freshly milled flour that I milled in this grain mill. So I hope that it's helpful for you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the description or in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer that for you. So the early Black Friday sale is going on right now. So check out my link in the description box below to go shop and see what they have. The Nutrimill Artiste, my stand mixer, is on sale. The Bosch mixer is on sale, and there's a lot going on over there. So it's a great time to buy either a grain mill or a mixer because these prices are really great. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative and helped you in your decision making. And yeah, so we'll see you on the next video.